Hey there, my name is Sydney Morgan-Petro. I'm the head of retail and buying for WGSN in North America, and I'm going to be walking you through one of our contemporary women's trends for Spring/Summer 21 called Simply Human. Simply Human speaks to the need for human touch and meaning and connection in a world where those basic needs aren't always promised. However, design will now need to meet these needs through the handcrafted, the artisanal, the repurposed, and the restored, offering up a slowed down and simpler, warmer reality. To better understand how Simply Human will be emerging in design, we first have to take a look at some of the macro drivers that are behind it, pushing forward new consumer ideas and design concepts. It's easy to see how a population in mandated isolation could lack this form of human connection. Humans develop touch starvation with lack of physical contact, which can lead to anxiety and depression, and in turn, a host of other medical diseases. But COVID aside, other long-term drivers have been pushing consumers to crave this type of emotional connection. This includes things like digital apathy. So if touch starvation is that loss of physical connection, digital apathy is the loss of emotional connection. And this is what happens when we live our lives behind a screen instead of out there in the real world. We're also seeing consumers grapple with the ideas of overconsumption. As their buying patterns change, they're looking at sustainability in a new way, and they want to have an emotional connection with these products. And finally, we're seeing an emotional burnout amongst millennials who are feeling anxiety and stress, but also loneliness across age groups, and this was even before COVID. So with these macro drivers in mind, Simply Human is looking for products that satisfy that need for the missing human connection. And we're going to do that with products that offer longevity, tactility, sustainability, and storytelling to bring consumers in closer to the product. For the women's contemporary market, we're going to see this trend come to life in a few key ways. The first of which is traditional craft. So we'll celebrate our cultural ancestry here and further storytell around a garment's making through all things artisanal. Look to handcrafted appliques, crochet, crafted open work, and macrame to create these stories. Next, we'll have conscious minimalism. So we're going to want to pursue a new minimalism that is more purposeful, that treasures the quality of a piece's history, detail, and craft. Explore this theme through curated capsules that focus on quality materials, perfect fits, and timeless sensibilities. We'll also look to things like make and mend that embrace individuality and encourage personalization through make and mend pieces that can use patched and pieced applications to rework items. This technique gives that really bespoke feel, which will also be appealing to our sustainable practices. Next, feminine layers will be very important to create that spring-summer layering story with a softer and more feminine feel by looking to lingerie styles and materials. So we'll use crinkled pleats, soft ruching, and reverse seams for definition, as well as lace insets and fabric-covered buttons for those finer details. Next up, we'll have our hybrid pieces. So these are fashion items that can switch between categories that actually elevate the value of pieces, especially when using quality materials and detailed elements. Key hybrid pieces include the caftan trapeze hybrid, the comfort blazer, and elevated activewear styles. Next, natural dyes will be very important. They also reconnect with nature via these vegetable-based dyes to produce earthy colorways like tawny brown, nettle green, and nature-inspired textures. Again, create bespoke feel through slight dyeing imperfections with creasing, overprinting, and inky blurs. We're also going to be looking at modular details. We're seeing modular designs really move from outerwear into other categories, specifically within tops and tailoring. So these detachable elements kind of help point to a garment's craft while also making items adaptable depending on the weather. Key items here include the summer blouson and the trench coat. We'll also look to hair accessories. So pieces like bows and headscarves are a really simple way to repurpose your dead stock materials and again embrace measures of quality and longevity within pieces. Also, for those working digitally from home, we're seeing above the keyboard accessories really be key players for spring-summer to help consumers really express their style on a screen. And lastly, DIY sets. put that element of craft into the consumer's hands through DIY accessory sets for jewelry and hair accessories. As a sustainable practice, kits can even repurpose leftover materials and trims to create these mix and match sets. Think about the Simply Human trend as a return to what matters, driving sustainable fashion that is not only meant to last, but to look better with age. We really hope that you've enjoyed exploring our Simply Human trend for the women's contemporary market. And for more of our SS21 trends, please check out the Women's Contemporary Trend Toolkit.